Welcome back, Lockdown Legion, to another episode of Nerds on Lockdown. I am Chris. This is Aaron, as always. And with us today, we have a very special guest. Again, back with us is Nick. What's up, Nick?
Not much. Glad to be back. What are we riffing on today, guys?
Well, dude, first and foremost, we're going to say a quick shout out to a couple of Legionnaires out there that have been showing some really bitchin' support. We really appreciate it. So what's up out there to Wild Dorkachu, and what's going on out there to our Retro Defender, rocking them Pokemon videos and whatnots. What up, y'all?
While we're going over some stuff, I do want to announce that I finally got the shirts in.
Oh,
our merch, and I kind of wanted to show everybody.
Ooh, swag me.
See a real version of it here.
Sweet.
So this design is on sweatshirts, t-shirts, phone cases, whatever.
You can actually paint your dog in that pattern.
Diapers.
Sure. Yeah, man. Go for it. Check it out if you guys want to. It'll help support the channel. If not, it's cool. But I just wanted to show you guys that. And yeah, that's
awesome, man. Well, dude, cool. I think let's get into this one today. I'm really excited about it. Right, we're going to be discussing an art form, truly an art form that we all love and have loved for a very long time. The art form and the brilliance of performance that is dubbed stand-up comedy.
Okay.
Nice.
Takes a very special and pretty oftentimes messed up person to be a good comedian, right? And today we're going to be discussing our top 5 favorite of all time.
Now, this is stand-up comedians.
They can sit at times if that would be required, yes. But generally speaking, upon the stage.
Well, I'm glad because one of my guys sits all the time. So just want to make sure.
Next week, sit-down comedian, top 3 list.
Important distinction. What if they're handicapped?
See? I don't know. Anyways, all right, cool, man. Well, since you're the guest, Nick, we're gonna start off with you, man. Go for it.
All right, sweet. I'll just go right into my my number 5 is gonna be Grandpa Savage of comedians, which is in my mind Don Rickles. The dude, I don't think has a single bit that he's repeated that I've ever seen. It's just he plays off the audience and he's savage.
It comes
he's that
off the top of his head.
Drunk uncle at the party that just makes everybody laugh, but they wish they hadn't invited him kind of guy.
He was one of the original ball busters, you know?
Yeah.
He took that to another level. He made a career out of ball busting. That's pretty awesome.
And dude, him in movies too, man. Like he's done some good, you know, his little cameos and stuff that he does, man. They're hilarious. So,
Dirty Works comes to mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Norm Macdonald flick. Yeah, man. Donnie Rickles, dude. I love it. OGs.
Cool, man. All right, Mr. Aaron, Mr. A.A. Ron.
All right, brother. Well, I'm going to go with the dude who coincidentally is a stand-up comedian, but is also one of my favorite actors of all time. We're talking about a frenetic, lightning bolt of a human being. And unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but we still enjoy his art, and he still makes us laugh. And I'm talking about Robin Williams. Yeah. My first sort of memory of him was one of the stand-up specials in the late 80s or mid 80s. Didn't pull together the idea that he was Popeye until many years later because as a child I didn't know, but I just loved his energy. I loved his he was maniacal and
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
That is also true. Yes, I mean okay, for the record, I haven't done cocaine, but what I'm getting at is Robin, dude. He was special. He was one of the few people who could definitely transcend between these different performance arts and be killer comedian, be a killer dramatic performer.
Absolutely.
And,
I could tell you one of my favorite movies from him was very underrated. And I remember it because I don't know what it is about the movie. It's a comedy, obviously. I do love his dramatic stuff, but it was called RV. And
one of those drops.
That movie is so funny, and nobody loved it. And I was just like, what? Why? How do you not like this movie? This movie's, I think it
was totally a campy summer release family movie is what
but
it is.
I don't think people like stupidity, you know what I mean? And I like just stupid, campy, funny like stuff. So I love that movie.
No commitment cinema.
Yeah.
But he did a movie I know we're kind of riffing off of him, but he did a dramatic movie that had to be one of my favorite movies of all time, called Bicentennial Man.
Dude,
Yeah, that's a
a
good one.
lot of love for that flick for sure.
Me being a sci-fi fan to begin with, like that movie kind of really like it was one of those movies where I can watch and I can watch again and I wouldn't be bored of it. I do really like that movie. So
Yeah. Plus, it had a hell of an ensemble in that movie too.
oh yeah,
Cast wise.
He also did another great dramatic movie, and I don't remember the name of the movie. So if anybody can help me in the comments, or maybe you guys know, but it's a movie about how it went through phases of his life. It was called The Life of Somebody, or
According to Garp, the world according to Garp.
No, it wasn't that. It was something else. And
being human.
No, maybe
the Fisher King.
No, it kind of showed him in like in biblical times, and then it kind of went up to another time, and then he wasn't a time traveler or anything. It just showed him in different sort of periods of movie. If you guys ever check it out. Yeah, I'm sure you can find it on IMDb, but I want to interact with the audience. So you guys tell us what the name of that
put it
movie
in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool,
right
man.
on.
Good pick. Good pick, bud.
Number 5, Chris.
All right, man. My top 5 on my fifth one is a comedian by the name of Cat Williams. Another frenetic comedian that's all over the place. You know, little short dude on stage that is just hilarious, man. And I like him in all the movies he's done.
Mm-hmm.
And usually he plays like a pimp or whatever. But dude, it's he's so good, man. Like, and his comedy transcends like just black comedy, just white comedy, whatever. You know what I mean? He talks about everything, and he doesn't like hold back, even on his own, racial stuff. So, like, that's why I like him, because there's no like divide. He's just, shit on everybody. You know what I mean? And dude, that dude is like, oh, he's so funny, dude, and so offensive. I love him.
Nice. Hey, the more offensive, the better. That's what comedy's all about,
dude.
man.
Yeah, for me, man. That's awesome. But anyways, yeah, Cat Williams, my 5.
Right on, dude. Right on. Cat Williams is a funny dude. Nick, hit us with number 4, bro.
My number 4 is gonna be, even though he's definitely more of a like television kind of comedian, I'm gonna have to go with John Belushi for my number 4.
Okay.
I mean, they did do a little bit of stand up here and there. Like if you count the Blues Brothers thing, they opened up for Steve Martin, and that's kind of how the Blues Brothers got their main start, kind of thing.
Sure.
But I mean, he's definitely another one of those animated kind of guys where you don't know where he got the energy, and then we found out after he died he got the energy from doing speedballs.
Yeah.
But I mean,
sorry for the noise.
He's just
yeah, people are lighting fireworks next to me, so it's kind of poppy. If you guys can hear that.
That's all right. I thought my redneck neighbors were just celebrating something.
I don't know what's going on. This has been going on for like 2 days, dude. So
kind of just thought the riots were getting closer. All right, Belushi, man, dude.
Yeah. I mean, probably one of my favorite skits of his on SNL was the I think they were Ukrainian. Supposed to be. It was him, Dan Aykroyd, and Bill Murray. And they did the diner thing, the cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, cool. All right, hit us with your number 4.
All right, man, hit me with your best shot, Pat Manatar. I'm gonna go with a dude who just made $100 million deal about a week ago.
Whoa.
This is a dude who starts off with some acting gigs and some chops, and he's doing the comedy thing for a very long time, and he really works hard at it, and he puts his time in, and really just is like a perfect archetype for the touring comedian. Plus the guy's got 1,000 other things going on. I'm talking about Joe Rogan.
Okay.
And I've seen him a couple times live, and I love the energy. I love the how absurd he makes things that I also find absurd to be. The fact that he does these interviews and has made this completely separate side career, side cash. I mean,
kind of created his own wealth in a way, especially after Fear Factor.
Hey man, Fear Factor. Yeah, I was gonna say, come on, man.
Right.
People eating bugs made his.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't think this show was gonna ever go a fucking second season. Like 6 seasons, 8 seasons later, we're still eating bugs and sticking animals in our anus.
He's like the pot smoking older brother version of Mike Rowe.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah.
Good call, man. Yeah. So I join me, Joe Rogan. I think he's
Cool, man.
really funny, really well
Little
developed.
little too political for me, but you know what I mean. I enjoy some of his stuff. So yeah.
Right on, man.
Cool, man.
Oh, number 3.
Number 4, number 3 for me. No, number 4 for me, man.
4.
Don't let me keep score. I don't know what's going on.
My number 4 is an Indian comic by the name of Russell Peters. He's very famous stand-up comedian. In fact, he's probably one of the biggest stand-ups right now as far as like touring, and like he's just a massive, like he even brings DJs and crap with him. The dude is just huge. If you guys haven't seen his specials, check him out. I think they're all over Netflix. He's got like 2 or 3 of them on Netflix, and he's hilarious. And he primarily does jokes about his native Indian heritage, right? Like it's, but he's American. He's American. He's super American. He's just like his parents. He grew up in the traditional Indian household, so like he does jokes about his parents and he puts on the accent and he. It's dude, it's so funny. And then he's one of the guys. I love comedians that mess with the audience. Like I like audience participation with comedians,
Right.
And he really picks out people from the audience and just shits on them, dude. It's so good. He'll call people out on their weight. He'll call people out on their ethnicity. He'll call people out on their clothes. He straight up on one of the ones on Netflix. He called some dude out. The dude was wearing all white, and he called him out. He's like, "What are you wearing? A condom?" And then like the girl next to him, she's like, "Ma'am, did you know your boyfriend left the house like that?" And so it's like stuff like that. How they kind of interacted. Oh, dude, he's amazing. If you guys haven't seen him, see him. Russell Peters, my number 4.
All right, will do, man.
Sounds good.
All right, my number 3 is gonna be Bill Burr, because he basically is another ball buster, but a Bostonian ball buster.
I love Bill Burr.
And honestly, I don't think I've seen a single special or interview that he's done, and let alone the Mouse kind of got him for a recent series on Disney Plus, where I thought he did a really good job in as well. I think he's a great all-around comedian, and he's one of those guys that even with the eggshells that comedians are walking on nowadays, he's doing his best to try to like keep comedy true to what it's supposed to be, and not just well, this might get me in trouble kind of thing.
I think you can't walk on eggshells, man. To be a comedian, you have to be able to offend people.
I agree, 100%.
Like you have to. Yeah. It's part of your job, man. And here's the thing: if people don't like, and if people are too offended by something, they don't have to watch it.
Well, I mean,
let's
speak a little historically here. The whole stand-up comedian thing came from the only person in the entire court that was allowed to make fun of the monarchy.
Yeah, exactly.
The
jester, yeah.
Right. That was the one kind of advisor that didn't have to be a yes man.
Yeah, but that goes both ways too, man. That goes with people that are offended by certain things, and the other side of people that are offended by certain things too. We can't just be like offended by one thing and not. So it has to be an all-around type of deal. You know what I mean? I can't be like, well, I don't like this person because you made fun of this person, but I like you because you didn't. You know what I mean? Like to me, like.
Basically, you have to have no standards or all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like you're funny. If you're funny, you're funny, and you have to recognize somebody for being funny. That's it.
Agreed.
Yes.
So. But anyways, yeah, dude, Bill Burr. I've listened to him on the radio. They used to do a special on KLOS with Mark and Brian with him a lot.
Oh, nice.
Back in the day, and Bill Burr would come on, and he would do they would like present his stand up for like the audience and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, Bill's funny. Were you referring to The Mandalorian?
Yeah. I was talking about The Mandalorian.
Nice.
What he was in that?
Yeah.
Yes,
what part was he in?
I want to say it was like the 5th or 6th episode, whatever the prison break one is. And dude, sorry for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. You're behind the times. F off.
Great show.
It was one of those things where as soon as he came on screen, I was just like, Bill Burr, what are you doing here?
I have to go back and I have to go back and see. Yeah, I have to go back and see because I didn't notice. You know what I mean?
And
it didn't pop
seconds,
into my head.
He was busting balls. Like whoever was writing his dialogue knew, okay, this is Bill Burr. People are going to expect this. And it just went straight into Bill Burr style ball busting at a Disney level.
Yeah.
Right. Less fucks.
All
Dude,
right.
yeah, I love me some Burr. I'm going to roll with my number 2 now, right?
3. You're bad at
3,
math, so
sir.
that's cool.
3. Okay, so we're gonna go with one of my favorites of all time. I did get to see him a couple times. He had a slightly self-deprecating humor, but not as bad as some. I mean, like he made his stuff funny and used himself as the root of
The punchline.
a lot of the jokes. Yeah, but he had a great heart and he was so like genuine and sweet with people. I'm talking about John Pinette, and this is that big fellow who would go on about the. That's right, he does.
A lot of buffet jokes.
Yes, indeed. Get out of the line. There you go, dude. Funny, honest. Not necessarily. I mean, like he would drop an F-bomb here or there, and it would just accent his already funny delivery.
Mm-hmm.
But generally, pretty clean, and like you could, I think in a lot of cases, it could be comedy that could be introduced to a younger person, where they can get. Like he'd be a good example of somebody to show what stand-up comedy is if you don't want to send them straight running the other direction because it's too hardcore, like some of the folks we've been talking about.
The lukewarm water before they actually hit the scalding or completely cold water.
I'm gonna piggyback my number 3 off of yours, Aaron. So
go right ahead.
Cool. So John Pinette was my number 3, but like you were saying with the cold, kind of getting into even though he was a lukewarm water of the comedian sort of.
Well, he didn't choose.
It wasn't
controversial topics.
It wasn't, but it was still funny. It was still top-notch comedy. And to me, somebody that can not have to have a shock value to make you just laugh hysterically is genius. Like it doesn't
probably
have
funnier.
Yeah, because he's really thinking about what is going to make these people laugh.
It's almost effortless in the way that he tells his story
because it's his life.
Yeah,
it's his life, and he's using that. It's almost as if I don't know if you've got, and he's not. I don't know if he's in any of our lists, but he's not on my list. But if you guys ever watched Dane Cook, right?
Yeah.
I love Dane Cook too, but he's in my top 10, not top 5. Mm-hmm. And he does the same thing. His comedy is all about life experience and sort of what he sees on a daily basis, and that's why it's so easy and natural to him. And I think a good comic takes bad situations and makes fun of them, and
translate them in a way that people can find some joy out of.
You have to find humor in it. Yeah, exactly, man. So cool. Yeah, so that was my number 3 too, man. So back over to you, Nick.
All right. My number 2 is gonna be a dude that is probably one of my. He's probably my number 1 favorite for deadpan delivery of jokes in general. Somebody I did not expect to ever enjoy as a comedian, and I just stumbled upon him one night when I went to go see Jeff Dunham on a date, and he was the guy that opened up for Jeff Dunham, and this is Mitch Hedberg.
Oh, Mitchy.
I mean, it was almost immediate, like from the moment that he came on stage, drink in hand, set it down on the stool, totally not a bottle of water, by the way. He just started going into it. It was like that observational, deadpan delivery on just stuff that bothered him about normal society in general, and stoner jokes,
stoner thoughts, stoner jokes. Yeah, why would you ever wear a backpack and a turtleneck? It's like
weak Mitchy trying to bring you down.
Yeah, exactly. It's stupid, but it's great because it's
why do I want a receipt for a donut?
Yeah. So
some skeptical friend, maybe.
I do have to say
Nick,
that
don't even act like I didn't get that donut, Nick. I got the documentation right here.
I get it.
I'll have to piggyback off of your number 2 with my number 2 because he's also my number 2. And he's dude. I don't know. You pretty much said everything. I think for me, when I first saw him, and Aaron's the one that actually introduced me to him way back in the day, fucking.
It was a Tuesday.
Years ago. I don't know. 13 years ago, something like that. And I just found his delivery. It's a delivery thing for me. and
Right.
I found his
Yeah.
delivery sort of calming and I like the fact that he can censor himself into, well, that joke was stupid, I'm gonna keep going. Like,
Yeah.
like he would do a joke and he'd be like, nobody laughed, and he'd be like, oh, fuck me, right? All right, well, next joke. You know what I mean? That one didn't work, you know?
Or a
So-
couple of times he knew it was going to be a good joke and he'd start giggling before the actual delivery.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. So, I mean, yeah, number 2 was my Mitchie for me, too. So.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm gonna take the same stance as all of you have. He could easily be my number 1, to be perfectly honest, but since we're taking a lot of right time here to talk about Mitch and why he was special and why he was funny and why he meant something to us, now's a good time to add him on mine as well. He
Cool.
got to see him a couple times, and he was just as on and just as awesome live, and very sweet to the crowd. He seemed like a good person who just had his demons, right? Like,
Yeah.
lost
Like
lost
most
control.
comics.
Yeah. And unfortunately, much like many of the folks on this list, another one we lost way too soon. We lost him. We lost Panette. It's a sad thing, when these things happen and they can no longer go out and make us laugh and tell us new stories and have new perspectives with us. But we're very blessed and lucky to have the material we do have from these people, whether they
Absolutely.
continue or not. So anyway, I love Mitch Hedberg.
Cool, man.
All the way, bro.
All right. Well,
So this would
Mr.
be Nick, number 1,
number
brother.
1.
All right, we're circling back to my number 1. It's going to be the really the first comedian that I actually ever got into, right? Outside of what you see on normal daytime, nighttime television and movies,
Mhm.
an actual stand-up comedian. The first one I ever really got into is George Carlin.
Okay.
And I totally have Aaron to blame for this, because the household that I grew up in was extremely sheltered, and there's no way in hell George Carlin was going to be even remotely shared there.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was one of those nights I spent the night at his house, and we stayed in the living room. I think we stayed up until about 2 a.m. Every half hour, his mom coming out and yelling at us to shut up and go to sleep while we were
Father up.
listening to, I don't know, probably 4 CDs back to back of his stuff. It was just, to me, it was a total eye opener, because I'd never heard observational comedy stand up like that before. And it was just,
George was amazing.
It all kind of hit home with me. One, it was all funny. And two, for how liberal you would expect the guy to be, his comedy just, for lack of a better description, shit on everyone.
Yeah.
Right. Didn't matter what your politics were. If it was stupid, he was going to tell you it was stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure, dude. For sure. I mean, shit, he's Rufus,
Yeah.
He is
Yeah, right.
Rufus.
The man knows he's,
And Archbishop something.
Right. Yeah, he's the kind of asshole that would bless his clubs for a good game.
Yeah.
Cardinal Glick, was that him?
There we go. Cardinal, not
Possibly.
Archbishop.
Something like that. Anyways, yeah, dude. Just for posterity purposes, I don't know if you can see. It's probably all jacked up.
Yeah, it's all messed up.
All right. Well, anyways, you can use your imagination. George Carlin.
Aaron just phased out there in the time dimensions for us.
Yeah.
Yes, and only part of me is back. I'm very concerned. Look, George Carlin is my number 1 as well, for many of the same reasons you posted, Nick. We grew up listening to his material. He was a wordsmith like no other. He could go off on these descriptors on people that you just, you about pee before you can, get through the bit because you're laughing so hard. And yeah, George, he's one of those weird people that I never got to see, but I felt like I knew in a weird way. I don't know much about his biographical life, but I feel like because of how much his content was relevant in our upbringing, that he was somehow, connected in that way.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, one of the things I definitely liked about him that really sold me on the beginning was just how he sculpted entire bits around basically being a drunk English teacher. He would just hammer on people's use of grammar and sayings that were completely nonsensical.
Yeah. Let Evel Knievel get on the plane. I'm getting in the plane.
Yeah.
It seems to be less winded here.
Yeah.
for sure.
Cool, man. So that was your number one there, Aaron?
Yeah,
Same,
George Carlin's.
samesies. Cool, man.
Yep.
All right, well, I guess I'm moving on to my number uno. It is not George Carlin, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's okay.
But it is a fairly, I don't want to say newer comic because I think he's been around for at least 10 years now, but like he really blew up in the last 6. Um, and he's a young dude, but that's Bo Burnham.
Oh yeah, Bo Burnham.
He's my favorite comedian right now, at least of all time. And I like him. I like the musicianship. I like music comedy. You know, I like Adam Sandler too. Yeah, but like, dude, Bo Burnham is just another one of those shit on everybody comedians. Doesn't care, you know, who he offends. It
And
is
really
what
intelligent.
it is, and super
smart.
smart.
Yeah.
The dude is a genius, at least to me, when writing his stuff. And I think the impressive thing about him, the reason why I like him, coming from me being a production person, right, is the time he takes to put on one-man show on, because that's really what it is.
Yep.
He designs the lighting, the audio, writes the songs, writes the stand-up comedy, and has to switch in between all that, you know, himself, because it's just one dude. And it plays off like there's more than just one person. You know, it's so well done that the timing that he has. Have you guys watched any of his specials?
Oh yeah, his segues alone,
Dude,
between like his stand up
man.
to when he does a song to when he goes back to like messing with the crowd. It's seamless segues every time.
Like when he's standing there and he'll be when he does that whole evil side and good side, and he does that light shifting. There's no pause. There's no anything. It's just, dude. The dude is, he's just amazing. And he has a lot of demons, just like all these other stand-up comics, and he does have a lot of problems that he doesn't really show or he doesn't really talk about. But he suffers with like depression and stuff. And but I think what makes him not unique, but what makes him great is he takes all that, he bottles that up, and he uses it as an art form.
Yeah,
you know,
he converts his negative energies or his negative potential into something that makes people happy.
So yeah, we had a chance to see him a couple years ago, and I didn't grab the tickets because they were just astronomically expensive. But when he comes back around, I do want to. I mean, I gotta see him. It's just like on my bucket list of shows to see, and he's one of them. So yeah, so that's my number one. Cool, man.
I want to look into him for sure, man. Like I hadn't heard of him before you, man.
I would go back and start with his stuff that he started putting out on YouTube in like 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's the YouTube stuff's a little different. It's more like viral video type of stuff, right? So like think Vines before Vine was a thing.
Yep.
Or TikTok, I don't know, whatever, you know. But and then get into his first special. So you got to find his first special. That one's hilarious, and then the second one is fantastic too. But like the first one is just stupidly good. Like yeah. Anyways, cool, man. All right, on to the good old honorable mentions.
Honorables.
Cool, man.
All right. I think my honorable mention is probably going to be any one of the women that started out on SNL. I mean, Gilda Radner or Jane Curtin, the first like big televised female comedians besides, I mean, like Carol Burnett and like the hardcore original female comedians
like
of the time.
And whatnot.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jane Curtin was one of those that like she could go toe to toe with Dan Aykroyd on the news thing, and it's probably one of the most famous skits the two of them did. And that I love that about her comedy delivery.
I loved her on Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah, that too.
Yes. That was a great show.
You know?
That was a fun 90s, early 2000s show for sure.
Yeah. Man. Cool, man.
All right. My honorable here is a duo. To be perfectly honest, I'm not exactly certain if they began as stand-up comedy or if they just did it in their films and then over time one of them, or actually no, both of them independently did comedy. But either way, I believe they fit here. We're talking about the classic, the OGs, Mr. Tommy Chong and Mr. Cheech Marin. Cheech and Chong.
Mexican Americans
Yeah.
don't like to get up early, but they have,
have
to,
to,
so they
so
do
they do
it real
Real
slow.
Heck yeah, man.
For sure, dude. For sure. Yeah, I mean, I did see some of their stand-up stuff in the recent years after their reunion, and I still definitely enjoy what they're doing there. Obviously, a niche market, or like obviously very
It's more like a cult
Central.
classic comedy, though. I mean, it's Cheech and Chong. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, dude. I have. I used to own all the vinyl. Well, my dad did. He showed me at a young age, dude, all those vinyls, like listening to all the. You know what I mean?
Right.
The
Right.
vinyl, dude.
I was
Up
watching
in Smoke and what was the other one? Iced.
Nice Dreams.
Nice Dreams.
Nice
Yeah.
Dreams.
Yeah. And then I watched the movies eventually. You know, but
For sure. Yeah, I was watching that shit way too young too, and I didn't even know what it was.
We
I
all
didn't-
were.
Yeah.
It wasn't until way later that I should be willing to admit that I understood what those were actually, what the films were about. But I found them funny back then when I had no context, and now they hold up, at least most of
Well,
them, really well.
Dick and fart jokes always hold up.
Yeah. One of my favorite comedian or comical movies doesn't have a Chong in it. Well, it might. I don't know. I have to go back and watch it. It's been at least 20 years since I've seen it, but was born in East LA.
Yes.
Chi-Chi, yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, dude. And like, yeah, I love Cheech, man. Like in that movie, dude. Oh my god, such a good movie.
Dude, I got an even more obscure one. Shrimp on the Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Cheech goes to Australia.
Yep. That's bad.
Yeah, it is bad.
beautiful.
Cool, man.
Honorable number one, Chrissy.
I have a Stephen Lynch as my honorable number one.
Nice. Another
Or
good.
my honorable. Another musician, comedian, kind of acoustic sort of dude. Goes up there with a guitar and just kind of riffs. And,
Sings inappropriate material.
Oh,
That's
bad.
That's the ugly baby
yeah.
guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, that's an ugly baby.
Yeah. He does the tattoo song as well.
Mhm.
He does what's the one about his wife? He does one about his wife, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
If you guys had never seen or heard Stephen Lynch, man, just go watch him. He's
Yeah.
Doesn't he have a song about the devil being gay too?
I think
Probably.
so.
My
And
real
he
name
does-
is Beelzebub, but you can call me Beels.
And then he also has well, much like South Park, yes.
Yeah.
He has then he has what is it? He has a song about nursery rhymes.
Mhm.
Like bad nursery rhymes.
yeah.
So he does that one too. So yeah, dude, he has a lot of great material, good music. It's he's hilarious.
If you want to be offended, go listen to his song Craig.
Yeah.
Fucking Craig.
Craig Christ. yeah, for sure.
It's so good, man. Anyways.
All right, man.
Cool, man.
That was a
Well,
sick list. I like that.
heck yeah.
We had some overlaps, but there was destined to be overlapping considering number one, some of these people are the best at what they do, and number two, we've known each other for so damn long.
Yeah. For
Going
sure,
back to-
man. Cool, man. Well, thanks, Nick, for being on again,
Yeah.
man.
Thanks again for having me.
We should
Awesome,
thank
dude.
the Legionnaires, and this would be a
Heck
good
yeah.
time to remind them that if they would have to click the ring-a-ding bell and up
Subscribe.
thumbs and all that good shit, then go ahead and just
Thumbs up.
yeah, drop some comments. I
Tell
wanna know.
everybody about us. It would be great. It would be wonderful.
Yes, everybody tonight get a carrier pigeon. Send the
That's
word
right.
out.
Just send it out. Just
Or Raven. Or Crow.
or Raven, yeah, you know.
Well, come on, times are tough. Not everybody can afford a
or-
Raven.
Or what you could do is you could just, copy our link on Facebook at pushupyourglasses.com. That's right. Or you can go on Twitter on Lockdown Nerds and on Instagram on Nerds on Lockdown. And you can find all our social media there. You can share that or don't. Whatever. It's cool. So,
Yeah, you're not going to hurt his
Yes.
feelings.
nah.
You do-
Also, don't forget, guys. Don't
This guy
forget.
lives on hate.
Oh, dude, no.
This is fuel.
That's my fuel. Yeah, maybe. Anyways, don't forget, dude. We do have merch. Go check it out if you want, or if you don't. But we have some really cool designs. I love it. I love the '80s. Aaron. We gotta rock
Merchandising.
The '80s, man. Merchandising. That's right.
When a real money
And,
from the podcast is made.
All right, guys. Anyways, thank you, guys. It's been fun. It's been real, but has it been real fun?
Oh, that's not nice.
It has. It has.
kind of a
It
dick
has.
thing to say.
Hey,
Gosh.
comedy. Remember, can't be
Yeah.
offended by it.
Bafangul.
Hey, continuity.
All right, guys. Till next time. Take care and stay safe. See you later.
Keep laughing, folks. Keep laughing.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Well, everybody, I just want to say thank you again for listening and for taking part in this video process with us. We really appreciate it. We're living in really dark and difficult times right now, all of us, and things don't look very good right now. And we're kind of hoping with today's video, as we were thinking about the people that make us laugh and make us feel good inside, that even though there's so much dark and heinous actions happening around right now, and the future is unpredictable, you know, at the end of the day, we're all human. We're all the same. We should all be cool with each other. And if a laugh can be shared between two people, no matter what the conflict is between, that's a good place to start, right? So,
Absolutely.
in the profound and great words of one Abraham Lincoln, I'd like to say and hope to all of you that you can be excellent to each other.
That's right. Be excellent.
And party on, dudes.
Party on, guys. Stay safe out there, guys.
Please do, y'all. Please do. Be
Later.
safe. Bye.